Hello, guys. We have my special guest, one of my friends. I love her so much. She actually was the one to tell me to take the strengths and weaknesses test, and it changed my life. And all of my team should be quite thankful because all of them have jobs because of that test. Because when I realized what it was, I was like, oh, okay. But guys, Stephanie Dove Blake, first of all, the most beautiful name ever. My husband was like, her name is so pretty. Is here. We're going to talk all things Boss Brunch, all things about her purpose, and it's going to be amazing. Cue the intro. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that you're here. So, one, you are like the busiest woman in the world, and I'm just so grateful for your time because you are just a rock star. You're just always out here doing all the amazing things. So, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
It is my pleasure to get to come spend time with you and just talk to your peeps because they're kind of like my peeps. I love your peeps.
Oh my God, yes, we love you. We love you so much. You are amazing. You are a rock star. Literally, your story had me in tears, and I was like, she's my friend. I don't know where she is, but just know that she's my friend and she has my heart.
I love it.
I'm just I love all the things. So no, you are amazing. It's funny because I keep thinking back, where did I see your interview? And I'm like, I don't know where I saw it, but it was just so monumental. It's funny because you were on somebody's event. Clearly, I don't remember their event, but I remember you.
Aw, that's so awesome. Yeah, I've gotten the honor of getting to share my story a couple different places, but I think I remember. No, because you knew who I was whenever we met at Funnel Hacking Live, right? And then I remember your infectious personality, and I was like, I love this woman. I'm telling you, I think you do such an amazing job of just showing up and being yourself. And you're so charismatic, and I couldn't forget you. I was like, of course I know who you are.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's funny because when I was in corporate, they told me to tone it down.
No.
Yeah, they were like
that.
Yeah, literally, that's what they used to tell me. They were like, Carrie, I really want you to bring it back a couple notches, and be a little bit more professional in the workplace. And when you go to meetings and talking to your franchise owners, I just want you to be a little bit more. And I had a meeting one time and I did that. And we get out of the meeting, he's like, Carrie, you did an amazing job. And I'm just and I felt the least like myself I've ever felt in my whole life.
Oh, nobody has time for that. There is no time in this world to be closing off or shying away or dimming our light in life. There's just no reason because you're made with that intention and passion on purpose, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad you can listen to them and you're no longer in corporate.
No, I love it. And it was the best decision I ever made. It was funny. I was at this training and we were doing a DISC assessment and I asked the trainer and he was like, I was like, hey, what do I do? I'm this bubbly person. What do I do? He was like, first of all, don't change who you are. He said, what you need to do. He was like, just change your tonalities and your ways that you elevate your voice and you'll be fine. And I was like, okay. I'll be me forever then.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So he was like, don't change it. That's great.
Yeah, don't change it. So, okay. So first of all, it really means the world to me that you're speaking at the Boss Brunch because I feel like all of my dreams this year are coming true because all of my favorite people are speaking and they're my friends in real life. And I'm just oh my gosh, I can't believe it. The difference a year makes. It's crazy.
Cool. I was just going to say, the way you've said that you stepped into your purpose and look how you're sitting here and we're talking, like you said, hey, we're going to talk about purpose, and it literally says at the bottom, realign your purpose, business, and offers. And like what comes to us whenever we align ourselves with our true purpose and like the results of that. And then here you are and you're like, oh, my dreams are like, that's how incredible is that? Because you're going after your purpose and then all this is coming out of that.
I know. And I feel like I've met like the most amazing people this year, you being one of them. And my one question that I have to you, because guys, like you're going to get all of this amazingness at the brunch, but my one question to you is, how did you determine or find, or what was the road to get you to where you finally felt like you were standing in your purpose?
Well, I have to say my journey began out of survival, right? So at the time when I decided to start my agency, my husband was working 2 jobs and I was homeschooling and my oldest, and I was also working for a company that had been sold. So I had like a month to figure something out. And so everything started out of that survival of like, what are we going to do? It's not like my husband can work a 3rd job, and I'm not going to stop homeschooling because my kids really need this. Some of them have learning differences. So it's super high priority for me to be able to homeschool at that period of time in our life. And so it began in survival. But then as I started to realize what was happening, because I was stepping out in faith, I started seeing all these things, and I started the agency. I decided to reach out to a chiropractor in my local city who I had seen before. And he had helped me out with my back years prior. And I had reached out to him and asked him if I could try running some Facebook ads for him. And he was very, very skeptical because he knew me as this homeschooling mother of 4. And so, but he said yes. For some reason, it's probably because I was doing it for free. And
he's like, well,
yeah. And so I ran ads for him, and we got incredible results that resulted in an immense amount of extra revenue that month for him. And so we decided to do a webinar together, and he brought some of his friends and chiropractors from all over the United States. And we did that webinar together. About 95% of those guys signed up that showed up for the webinar. And I started going and blowing and building this agency. And again, still in survival mode, right? Still in like complete, like, oh, what am I doing? Like trying to figure everything out. And I did. I figured it out. I made one foot in front of the other in faith that I could do this, and that for such time as this, like it's going to work out. And so as I started building all of that, I started to realize that there was something so much deeper there that was happening. And I thought it was just so beautiful, because what started in survival ended up being full of purpose for me, because unfortunately I lost my mother to degenerative disc disease whenever I was in my early 20s. And my mother had a bulging disc in her neck. It was causing major pain, and she had a surgery, and that surgery was botched legitimately. Like she ended up getting money for that botched surgery. And then she had to have another surgery to try to correct that, which imbalances there ended up resulting in another surgery. And there were opioids, there were morphine pumps, cortisone injections, and all sorts of crazy stuff that happened. And so due to complications, due to all of that, towards my early 20s, my mother did end up passing away from a fall that had to relate to her instability and all that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I believe truly, truly, truly that if my mother had access to a chiropractor before all of that started, that she might even still be here with us today and her grandchildren. Right. And then I myself have had back issues. I live with a bulging disc in my neck, and I'm not getting surgery until I absolutely have to. But I go see a chiropractor, and it changes my life because it improves my quality of life. And so as I'm helping these chiropractors, I found this purpose, this hidden purpose that I didn't actually realize, but that by helping these chiropractors, I am enabling and helping these other people who are much like my mom, especially in the spinal decompression realm of chiropractic work, with these people who are dealing with bulging and herniated discs. The pain that they experience is so immense. And so I found myself with this thriving, amazing agency that was ending up helping these people. I'm super passionate about helping, because it's in essence, it's helping someone like myself, helping someone like my mother. Right. And so that passion to help them has just grown, because I want them to have major impact because I believe that I'm living vicariously kind of through them, but by me helping them amplify their message, I'm getting to help amplify the impact on people's lives. And so it's incredibly rewarding.
Oh my gosh. So I really love that because one of my tenets is always helping amazing people help amazing people. And that's one of the things I always stand by. And whenever I ask you, like, Carrie, what's like your mission? I was like, at the end of the day, it's helping these amazing people who already are great or doing amazing things be able to amplify their voice so then they can help more amazing people.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love that so much. Oh my God. Okay. So you found your purpose in helping these chiropractors, and then the agency blew up. So then from there, because this is what we're talking about in the brunch, is you got you're in this traction, and of course, like, you feel like you have to do all the things. So what was that moment when you realize, okay, I don't have to do all the things anymore?
Yes. What it really was I had built an amazing team that I love to pieces. To this day, they're incredible in my life. And I had hired to my weaknesses. So Carrie mentioned, I told her to take the strengths and weaknesses, the strengths finder test, and unlock all 34 of your strengths. Look at the bottom of that list.
Unlock them. They're important.
Yes, they are. What's at the bottom of that list is just as important as what's at the top of that list. And just like Carrie, I found that consistency was like at the bottom of my list. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? What am I supposed to do with that? But what I realized that I needed to do was I needed to hire people that could do that. And I led with that as I went forward, and super transparent with my team. Like, look, this is where my struggle is. And they do, they come in and they fix that up, and they help me so much. But as I was starting to build, it did get to a critical mass where I was literally working around 50, 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. And that is not why I started this business. Yes, I love to work. I'm an Enneagram 3, yes, but my children and my family are the most important thing to me. And so going from a homeschooling mama of 4, right, to working 60, 70 hours a week, I was losing my mind and feeling so frustrated with this business that I built. So thankful and grateful because it changed our lives, but so stuck and felt like I was trapped, because how do I do this? So I knew at that point, this is not the life that I signed up for. I still remember my husband looking at me and goes like, hey, if this is how it's going to be, this is not what we talked about. This isn't the vision. And if it doesn't change, then why would we do this? Exactly. Why? It doesn't matter if it's this amount of money, if our quality of life is, down the crapper. And so, I started looking for a solution because I had been trained by a lot of different people and pulled little things from all over the place. Michael Hyatt, Russell Brunson, Alex Sharfin, all these different people. So I knew my agency didn't have to look like this. I was in subconscious ways choosing it to look like this. And so I began to look for partners and people to help. And so my first the big thing that unlocked everything was I realized I needed this key individual in my business. And that key individual was an integrator. And yes. And
life changing,
right? So I didn't know though what an integrator was. I was hunting around. I was like, I need a person, and they're kind of like this, and they kind of do this, and they're going to be like this person that comes in and they handle this and they manage the team and they manage me. And so through a series of events, I found my current integrator, who was actually an event planner previously. And she was like, but you know what? What?
Mine was too. She was.
What?
She was an event planner. She was planning events for nonprofits.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we found a key here. If you want to find an awesome integrator, go to the event planners and pull them out. I started working with her, and I was like, look, I saw this over here, this over here. This is what it's supposed to look like. And she was like, I am that person. I can help you do that. And sure enough, she could. And so within about 2 months, we figured out our own system for our agency that really helped solidify, streamline everything. And I went from working 60 to 70 hours a week to just 5.
That's
5 in my business. And that was game changing.
I give myself more work, so that's probably I always make.
Oh no! Oh, trust me. Okay, it's 5 hours in Social Sparrow, but you better believe I started high ticket coaching, and
You start doing all this other. Yeah. It's funny. So like Amber is my integrator, and literally she'll be like, I told like when I hired her, I knew it was going to be the best decision, but the scariest decision.
Yes.
So like I'm like amping myself up for it. I'm like, okay, Carrie,
Yeah.
you can do this. You can do this. And like I get on the call with her. I'm like, yeah, Amber. Okay, we got this. Like, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I need you, but I'm scared because I know you're going to be the one that's going to tell me no when I don't want people to tell me no.
Mm-hmm.
And she's so good. She's like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, no. She's like, okay, Carrie, no, not right now. I'm like, okay, that sounds a little better.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the most pivotal things in my business. What it sounds like for yours is just recognizing that there truly is whenever you truly are a visionary creator type person, there is this need for this other position, which is an integrator. And while as a creator and a visionary, you can launch things, the sustainability typically is harder. And so you can make it, but after a little bit, you're limping along. Things start getting really rough. And so, yes.
So funny story. Like I crack jokes with my team sometimes. I was like, guys, I just want to apologize because I know I just gave y'all some duct tape and a prayer, and I just like start doing other stuff because I was like, here you go, here's the system. It's not together, but it should hold long enough.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And then Amber will come in and she will clean it all up and make.
And that's what she did. And like she's like, Carrie, like we'll get all this organized. And she's like, Carrie, I feel like you're the hardest to manage in the team because you're always like, I'm gonna do all the things. And she's like, no, Carrie.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Stop it. Yep. Oh, that's so good. Yeah. So that definitely has been like the biggest game changer for me in my agency, and it really just kind of helped me understand. And I knew that I didn't have to do it all myself. Like I had heard it and from people that I trust and I believe, but like I didn't know it until I had experienced it, and it's almost like waking up. It's like, oh, okay, this is how it can be. This is the new reality, right?
Yeah, because I think like for me, it was like I remember it was October, and I got really smart and I was feeling like I was feeling strong, and we had closed like 6. We had like onboarded 6 clients in 1 week because I thought we could do it. We couldn't. It was so bad.
Was Amber like, what are you thinking?
She had it like I literally brought her in the week later. I was like, okay, Amber, just like let you know, like it's a whole mess over here, but we're just gonna get through it together. And she's like, I'm like, hey, I want you to talk to this client real quick. She's like, I don't even know this person. It's fine. It'll work out later.
Everything's fine. It'll be fine.
It'll work out later. Like clients are like, here, where did you go? I'm like, I'm drowning here, guys. I'm drowning. I feel like I don't know where to go. Yeah. And it's funny because like now she does her own client calls and things like that. And it's so weird because I'm like we had a call yesterday and I was like, oh, I don't really have any calls today. She was like, I have like 6. I'm like, oh,
that's interesting. Yep. That's amazing. That's amazing. That is so amazing. And so that I think it's almost one of the entrepreneurial muscles. Like I talk a lot with my coaching students as far as like, at every level, whenever we're growing as an entrepreneur, we're getting stronger and stronger and we're getting new muscles. And I think that's one of the biggest ones is just being able to truly let go and delegate and let someone else truly take the weight, because it's a lot of responsibility and a lot of heaviness whenever you're running your own business, especially a woman-owned business, it can be tough. And so having the ability to trust and to lean in and to explore, and then even to give yourself permission to rest into the next thing, right? Like, it's a big
Well,
deal.
I'm thankful for you because of you, I was able to do it a whole lot quicker. So we hired our first so we, even though I started my business July, I tell anybody we didn't do anything in the business until like October of 2019. And literally, like, we hired somebody in November because I think that was around the time that I saw your thing, and I was like, "Ooh, this is a weakness. Let me figure this out because this will not go far."
Mm-hmm.
I did it really early, so like I hired people very very quickly into the business, and like it took a whole year until we brought Amber on, but it was like a fact of me having to understand because I probably like if I would have hired Amber, one, I would have known what I needed her to do. Like I had to have gone through stuff and had been through stuff and saw like
Yeah.
what I didn't want to do anymore to be able to like really like let her be in the position that she is now.
Yes, and that, that's what's so beautiful. A lot of times when we're going through the journey and we're going through the highs and the lows and the oh my gosh, did I really do that? And all of those moments, like if we can just stop and not like resent them. A lot of times I'll say don't begrudge your journey, which is kind of an odd way of saying it, but like don't look back on it or being in the midst of it and trying to embrace even the lows for what they are. I don't remember who the quote is from. This is famous quote, everybody's probably gonna know, but it was like, I can never lose. I can only always win, because whenever it comes down to it, I either win or I learn something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's not winning or I failed. It's I won or I learned something. So I walk away winning because I did learn something. And so like, even whenever something goes terrible and you lose a client or you really screw something up or something just doesn't work for you, you did everything you could, but it was beyond your control, and something doesn't work out, you don't have to be upset about that. You don't have to let it wreck you. Although, listen, for years, it wrecked me. Sometimes every once in a while, it still gets me. And I'm just like, ugh, but ultimately, everything happens, for us, not to us, right? And so if we can truly embrace that, and sometimes it just takes that repetition, just like what you said, you had to go through those things to be ready for Amber to happen. And you can see that now because you're on the backside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like
yes,
like going to the jungle with machete trying to chop through it.
Yes. And it's hard. It's really, really hard. But that hard stuff and all those ups and downs is what qualifies us to reach the goal, right? And to
Oh my gosh. Guys, this is why you guys need to register for the BOSS Brunch, because conversations like this, like with me and Stephanie and all the amazing speakers that are going to be speaking, I'm just super excited. We're literally 8 days away. It starts next Thursday. I'm super excited. Make sure you register bossbrunch.live. You see it right there.
whatever.
I was like, there it is. Down there. Steph, thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much. We will see you next week. I will see you probably tomorrow to talk about all BOSS Brunch things. And Steph, I'll see you next week. We're going to have so much fun.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.